G'day folks, here's my May collection update. Alright, first up we have this re-release of Abigor. This is their demos 93 to 94. I got this from Napalm Records. This came out on Darkness Shall Rise Productions. So this is all the demos at Abigor. This is a Austrian black metal band they put out from 93 to 94. Most of these are with their first singer, Ruin, who later went on to Mestagon or something or other. So, yeah, all except the last one are all him singing, and he has a bit of a different sound to Selenius, who's on the final one. So this is all demos that most of the songs are pretty much done on this, the first album, Verwüstung, Invoke the Dark Age. So, yeah, they're demo versions. They're not vastly different. They're obviously the album has a lot better sound, and the songs are smoothed out a bit more from their sort of demo form. Sorry if this is really shiny, but it's a pretty damn shiny record. So yeah, you get all their demos. For some reason, I don't know, I find it slightly odd that they're not in date order. The first one is Lux Dvika Est, which apparently means light has been subdued. So this is actually their second demo from 94, I think. So killer atmosphere as always. I mean, it's one of the key highlights of Abigor. It's just intense atmosphere. The vocals from Ruin are, yeah, he's a lot more sort of high pitched, a bit more sort of immortal sounding. They peak out to buggery on this at times. So I think these early ones are not exactly prime recording quality, but it's still good stuff. But one thing that is fairly obvious is they're big fans of Emperor, I'd say, because yeah, there's just that sort of early Emperor, you know, like the Wrath of the Tyrant or the Split EP. Just that sort of riffing on here. I mean, I don't know if it's an influence or if they just happen to have the same influences each, but I mean, Wrath of the Tyrant I think came out in 92, and I'm quite certain they would be quite familiar with it. Interestingly, I don't see much mention of Emperor in the booklet sort of interview thing, but yeah, it's fairly obvious to a trained ear. Next up is, so that's side A. Side B is promo tape 2/94, and I mean, these are, as I said, most of these songs are on the first album, but I think it's Abysmal Scorn on this one. So quite the ripper. It's got the bombastic sort of drumming style, and it's interesting reading the interview because it kind of sounds like he made up half the drumming sort of on the spot when they were recording it, or he's somewhat nonchalant about the drumming, even though it's friggin' excellent. He's just like, oh yeah, whatever was needed. Yeah, I just used some random kit. I was lucky if the drumsticks worked or, you know, weren't broken sort of thing. So, but from there, they're successfully melding their acoustic bits with the black metal side of it, and also just Rune's crazed screams over the top. Then the third release on side, or the second release on side B is Ash Nazg, whatever their first demo at any rate, which was pretty raw, you could say. Starts with this rather cool Dead Can Dance sample that I notice he skirts around mentioning too much in the booklet, but and then this sort of like Thorns, like sort of fast, you know, tremolo riffing sort of style. Sound isn't awful on this. It's interesting reading the reviews of it. People obviously had a crapper quality version, but this one I'm assuming is as good as they could get. Sounds pretty reasonable, really. Vocals are a bit odd on it, you could say. Yeah, and I'm fairly certain it is, you know, one of the first, well, pretty much the first thing Rune recorded as a vocalist, so I don't think he was necessarily a natural. So it's not awful, but it's sort of hints of the amazing music to come. And then side C is Moonrise, which is, I think, the last thing they did with Rune, possibly. Sounds bloody nice. And then side D is the last one that's in Hate and Sin. That's first one was Selenius. It's, you know, like a couple of months before they recorded the first album. So everything's pretty much on point there. I mean, you get it, like, for some reason there's two different versions of My Soft Vision in Blood, which is also on this as well. So in Hate and Sin one, it's been trimmed down by a couple of minutes. So obviously they cut out a bit of filler they didn't really need. But the sound is really getting quite good on that, as is the songwriting. So this is just a black vinyl. I'll show you the They are kind of cool little stickers or labels. So very grim. They the actual covers of the records. Plus with this you do get a you get a little download code that's on the floor now, but you do also get a poster of, I think it's PK looking pretty grim. But yeah, one of the highlights, to tell the truth, I mean the music's freaking awesome. So one of the highlights is this book though. It's thick. It's basically an interview with TT, the drummer, and guitarist as well. Obviously, I'm not sure when the interview is, because it doesn't actually mention that PK killed himself. So it must be before that possibly. But it's got a lot of photos and just a lot of talking about the demos themselves and their writing days, but a hell of a lot of background of just how they formed and all that. Talking about Iron Maiden gigs in Vienna and it's really fascinating sort of look at the sort of early days of the second wave of black metal, as they call it. Lots of pictures of standing around in the forest looking grim as is the way back then. So, but yeah, it's a really, really fascinating read. It's they're obviously pretty friggin' serious about it and very talented chaps. So, yeah, I would very much recommend this one if you like Abigor. It's brand spanking, so it should still be available. Plus, of course, idiot that I am, I ordered it twice. This is the version from Amorfati, another label that arrived, I don't know, a month or two after this. Well, actually, it wouldn't be that long. A couple of weeks at least after that. So, yeah, I have two copies. One of which is black, and the other one, the Amorfati one's like black and marble or something or other. So, yeah, I'll sell that one at some stage. I really don't need two of them. But yeah, if you like early or if you like any Abigor, it's definitely worth it, I reckon. All right, another thing I ordered from Napalm Records is Therion compilation. This is Beyond the Darkest Veil of Time. Now, this just came out on Hammerheart Records, so it's a compilation of the first two demos of Therion, plus this CD. And the reason why I bought the CD is because it's got the Time Shall Tell EP on the end, which has also been reissued in its own right, but the cover is just pretty much the same as that. It's just boring as shit. So I've not bothered picking up the reissue of that. One day I'll try and get the original, which is probably rare as hell and probably not cheap either. But at any rate, I'm happy with just the CD version of it. So you get this boring O card or whatever they're called. So you get the paroxysmal Holocaust demo, Beyond the Veils of Inner Wickedness, and then the Time Shall Tell EP. So I've had MP3s of these for years, but honestly, I didn't really listen to it that much, mainly because the first album of Darkness was so bloody good. Why do I need to go back to that? But I do actually like hearing demo versions of songs. Some of them are a bit different, like I think it's Morbid Reality, I think, is it? Yeah, that's like a slower version. The breakdown in it's just tough as hell because it's just that bit slower. It does have The Return as well, which is another ripper off of Darkness. As far as the other tracks on here that aren't on everything else, or aren't re-recorded for Of Darkness, Bells of Doom was one that I think was on like a random compilation. It's a sort of slow crusher with some fast bits. That's alright, nothing special. Animal Mutation's another one that's not on anything else, I don't think. But and I think actually the version on this is it's an unreleased version that I don't think was on the original demo, but they've bunged it on here, so that was kind of nice. I think they did the same, I think, with Genocidal Raids on the second demo, but there's some odd sort of fast vocals on Animal Mutation that really don't work. I could kind of see why they left it off. First demo actually has Matty Kaki singing on it. Well, that does have him and Chris credited as vocals, so I don't know what, but it is a different sort of sound for him, as that throatier sort of sound than the real deep sound that he got on Of Darkness. So first demo is pretty bloody good. I can see why they got attention, because I mean the two main songs that are on Of Darkness are friggin' rippers. So next demo along is Beyond the Veils of Inner Wickedness. So it's got 3 songs. Actually, is Parox. I think that's on. Yeah, Macabre Declension is one of another sort of unreleased ones. It's not re-recorded. It's way too much reverb on the vocals. and it changes a bit too much. It's a bit too crazed, but there's some cool riffs on there. Megalomania is a classic, as I think is Paroxysmal Holocaust, the song. I can't remember actually. Oh no, that's another not re-recorded one. And then there's like an instrumental version of Genocidal Raids for some weird reason. I think they ran out of time recording it. And then the Time Shall Tell EP, the last one is I think 2 songs of that were just put on Of Darkness for some random reason. I don't know if they sounded better than I doubt they sounded better than the Of Darkness versions, but maybe they also ran out of studio time and went, we'll just bung those on. So, yeah, those friggin' rule, and plus you get the other 2 ones were re-recorded anyway on Of Darkness, so yeah, they sound pretty friggin' nice. You get a really nice booklet there. That's another sort of highlight of this. I mean, some of these, it's got like interviews and, like old flyers and stuff. Probably would have looked a lot better on LP size, but it's a really good interview with Chris, who's Chris is the main, singer and guitarist of Therion, main dude. And yeah, he's quite frank with, just how young and inexperienced they were, and some amusing stories about, the recording process, and sound guy was too busy chatting with his girlfriend and all this sort of stuff. So that's really quite interesting, breaks down the songs, what is it, Megalomania's got a Jimi Hendrix inspired riff in it and stuff like that. So it's, yeah, he does good interviews. I've read plenty of his stuff. I think I follow him on Facebook, and he does some long, lengthy posts that are really quite interesting. He's an interesting chap. So, yeah. Killer early compilation. It's not as good as Of Darkness, really. Or I don't think any of these songs are on Beyond Sanctorum, the second album. But yeah, if you like early Therion, this is mandatory. Next up are a batch that I got from Underground Force Productions. It's Damon Bloodstorm's distro. This is first up, Goraphobia with their Morbidius Pathology EP on Pretty Picture Disc. Ooh, love it. I got suckered by the picture disc. You do get like a sleeve that comes with it that just has lyrics and pictures of the band. So yeah, if you don't know Goraphobia, I probably shouldn't just hold this friggin' thing up, getting my fingerprints all over it. It was an old American death metal band from Pennsylvania, maybe somewhere around the East Coast. At any rate, heavy as bloody hell. Probably should have got more props, I reckon, but he didn't do an album for a long time. I don't know what happened to them. They probably should have been huge, I reckon. But so this is their first, I think it's their first demo from 1990. You get 3 tracks on that, and then the B-sides live stuff from a gig in Buffalo. I don't know if it was one of those Day of Death gigs, but in 1991. So that's got 5 songs on it. So yeah, this is just heavy as shit death metal. Basically, that's all you can say about it. The highlight song on this for me is probably the first song, Poltergeist Entrapment. It just has this certain kind of catchy groove to it. It's just nasty. I don't think this is quite as brutal sounding as their Omen of Masochism. I guess that's also an EP that came out on Relapse. That was stupidly heavy. This is still pretty up there. And this band has Alex Books in it, who's now in Immolation, was in Ruinous and a few other bands. So yeah, he does some fine work on here. What else do you get? On the live stuff, it's I think you get all 3 of these songs. No, you don't get... Oh, no, you do. And plus also Cremate in Hate, which is a sort of unreleased almost track, and Chronic Blood Lava, which is other song that wasn't on this, which is freaking killer. I never noticed how much it sounds very much like the Acheron, like the old Aussie band that turned into a Bramble, and their Deprived of Afterlife EP, or the song has very similar sort of riff structure to that, I reckon. And I'm fairly certain I remember old pictures of Acheron with one of them wearing a Goraphobia shirt, so they're quite knowledgeable about them. So I didn't really, I didn't totally need this thing, but I do get suckered by Pretty Picture Disc, because I already had the 3 demo songs on this Seraphic Decay sampler thing, which was this legendary rip-off label that put out some amazing stuff. This is just a bootleg CD of it. It's not even the real one. So, and I do also have this Goraphobia, Vile Beast of Abomination that Necroharmonic put out. It's an excellent compilation that has the demo plus, I think of the Omen and Masochism stuff on it, or maybe it doesn't actually have that. Oh no, I think it does. And 4 unreleased tracks that sound friggin' killer, and a couple of live songs at the end. So the live songs I think are the same gig as this one, but this one has extra 3 tracks, so hey, it is still slightly worth it. So yeah, very underrated US death metal band, I reckon. They're killer stuff. And lastly, from Underground Force was Convulse with their World Without God LP. So this is the first album of these Finnish death metal legends, and this is a recent thrash reissue. So originally this came out on Thrash, which is a French label, and those original ones are not cheap, let's put it that way. So this has been reissued several times over the years, partly by Relapse on CD, which of course I own, and also by Svart Records on record, which of course I also own. So I now have 3 versions of this, not the original, but as I said, I don't really want to spend $300-400 or whatever on original that I now have 3 copies of anyway. So I think this one has been not remastered, and I think that's the main difference of these. I'm not going to go into giant amount of detail. It's Finnish death metal, legendary stuff, absolutely killer. One obvious notice that you might be able to do is, I don't know if that shows up pretty well, but the photo quality on the Svart one on the back is pretty shit house compared to that. Plus, they have actually taken there is black sides on that one, whereas this one's not. So, I don't know, what have they lost? A bit of the top maybe? Or they've just cropped it? Maybe it's just thinned a bit? I don't know. At any rate, this is bloody nice quality version of it. I'm not that big a audiophile, and also my ears are probably pretty shit house after, going to gigs for 35 years without earplugs. So I did have a quick listen to this. I mean, I know this album very well, but I did have a quick listen back to back from all 3 versions. What did I pick? I think False Religion was the start of side 2, just to compare them all, and yeah, I can hear a giant amount of difference. The CD, actually, the Relapse one, which is the first reissue that's remastered as well, that one did sound a bit too loud, if you know what I mean. It was a bit boomy. So, but the difference in the thrash versus the Svart one was pretty minimal for me. So yeah, I probably didn't need this, but what the hell? Look, you get a cool thrash collage, and you get lyrics. So that's the thrash one with the, it's just black vinyl, I think. Nothing super exciting on that. The Svart one actually does come with also comes with Resuscitation of Evilness EP as well, which is just as friggin' killer. And the CD actually also comes with that and a couple of live tracks, so they are slightly different. This is the Svart one, so the Svart one's all, gatefold, but it's not super exciting. You do get the proper cover of Resuscitation of Evil and so on, but as I said, I've had this for ages, so I really didn't need another version of it, but it's one of those FOMO, like, oh, what if it does sound that much better? So it doesn't, but anyway, it's nice to have the full cover art and a decent quality picture on the back. So, and yeah, this is hand numbered, no less. Mine's 111 of 315 apparently, so yeah, I do like that the cover's a bit more matte looking as well. It's very stylish. So yeah, legendary Finnish death metal. If you don't have it, get it. And lastly, from Underground Force Productions was Deteriorot with their Manifested Apparitions of Unholy Spirits. This came out on Extreme Music. So yeah, these guys are a sort of murky US death metal band. I think I thought this was an album when I bought it. Basically, you get 3 versions of the same EP. So they put out an EP on Drowned Productions, I know, because I just got it on this Drowned compilation. So I don't know what version is on this. But on this, you get the original 7-inch mix from 1993. Then you also get a remastered version from 2023. And a 2009 version that's a remix and a remaster of the 7-inch. So, for some reason you get 3 versions of the same thing, plus a couple of extra tracks. You get like a 2023 demo one with the current lineup with 2 songs there, and a demo single as well from 2023. So, yeah, it's not completely just 3 versions of the same thing, but seems a tad a bit of overkill. So I do really like the song of the title track, Manifested Apparitions of Unholy Spirits. It's a ripper. It's got this sort of doominess to it. As I said, they're pretty murky, pretty heavy, well, East Coast death metal. Although I'm beginning to wonder, did they add keyboards on the later versions of this that aren't on the original? Maybe, I don't know. I couldn't be bothered listening to 3 versions of the same thing again. It's a real shame these guys didn't do an album back in the sort of early 90s, because I think after this, it's maybe like a demo or something, and then nothing until the 2000s. So I don't know if, I assume they had lineup changes or something. I noticed that the main guy, Paul, has moved state, so who knows. But I do find it quite amusing. There's a typo in the song The Afterlife. In all 3 versions of The Afterlife, it's AFRERLIFE. Whoops. So I do actually need to track down their albums, I think. This is a band I've kind of just missed over the years for some reason, possibly because they didn't actually have an album back in the 90s. So I'm trying to think what else you get. I think that's the original cover art, and this the reissue cover art. So yeah, the band standing around in the forest looking tough. I like it. Oh, some good arm folding. Oh, good work. Bit of milk crate action. And then slight sort of thing. So it's not, there's no like interview with the band or anything. Maybe there is actually. No, I think there's an interview from a zine that is actually legible at least. So, and a couple of flyers. Ooh. Unleashed, Incantation, Belial, Deteriorot, someone else, and Crucifier. Blimey, that would have been alright. Incantation, Goraphobia. Can't read that one. Decomposed maybe. Deteriorot. And spiky logo band of some variety. Who knows? So I do like looking at old flyers and going, with my time machine, there I'll be. So as I said, I already have songs on there, and I already have this bloody one as well. This is a Razorback Records. This is Echoes from the Past, which has, I don't actually know what this has on it. Oh, there you go. It's got various tracks from there. Yeah, In Ancient Beliefs was their first full-length album, came out in 2001. So this has got demos and that 7-inch and some live stuff, and yeah. So this is well worth it as well. But yeah, I mean, this wasn't super expensive, which is good, seeing I thought it was an album. So one day I'll track down their albums, because yeah, murky death metal, can't go wrong. All right, next up are a couple I got from Discogs, I think. So first up was a DVD, actually. This is a Relapse collection. Well, it doesn't say Volume 1, but it's the first one they put out. So this is from 2003, it seems. So this one has, well, a shitload of Relapse bands from 2003 in their film clips, basically. Nothing super fancy by any means, no booklet or anything, but I don't know if this came with a booklet, but at any rate, this one doesn't have one. So a lot of these are pretty average, basically, so I might as well go through them. There's High on Fire is the first one. It's like live footage and life on the road kind of thing. I've still never seen that band. I really should. I got to see Sleep back on the Holy Mountain tour, so I always got to gloat about that, but never seen High on Fire. The next one is Neurosis with Locust Star, and that's the reason why I bought this. It's captured from I think it's an Ozfest that Neurosis played, which must have scared the shit out of the crowd. I'm sure I rambled about this in probably my Relapse video or something or other. But yeah, it's the most intense bloody live footage I've ever seen of any band. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, Locust Star is a friggin' ripper song, but they're just so into it. The keyboardist guy just smashing the crap out of his I don't even know what it is. It's like a strange, really don't know what it's called. I remember seeing it, I think he was selling it at one point. So it's sort of attached to his keyboard or something, but it's just like big pedally things that he can just pound. And he was. The rest of the guys getting into it, except the drummer always looks kind of cash compared to the rest of the band, but at any rate, the rest of them getting into it. So it's so furious. I watch it on YouTube all the bloody time. But one thing that pisses me off on that is it's slightly out of sync, so it just drove me crazy there. Just the beats and everything was just, half a second out of sync, which drove me crazy. So I had to get the proper version of this. Plus, I mean, the YouTube version's a bit shittier version than this. So, yeah, absolute highlight of this. So stupendous, especially when Dave, the bass player, starts singing. Those bloody looks that he's given, scary as hell. It's beautiful. So after that, then you get Amorphous with Divinity, which is quite the contrast. It's like nice era Amorphous. So clean singing, I think it must be from Elegy or something or other. It's a good song with the clips kind of shit, I seem to recall. Alchemist was another reason why I got this, Campbell Legends, seen them a million times, but it's their clip for First Contact, which has got a sort of alien theme. It hasn't been abducted at the start of it. It's kind of hilarious. Plus, I know exactly where they filmed those. It all looks out at the shitworks near McGregor. I'm pretty sure most of that stuff was filmed, and it's just got them sort of playing, and no, I don't think that shows them being abducted or anything like that. But that has them sped up, looking kind of weird, and it looks really good on Rod, the drummer. He just, I don't know, it looks really cool. So that one, yeah, another of the highlights for me. Nice mellow, trippy weirdness sort of stuff going on. Adam singing without a mic as usual, which always looks a bit strange, but fair enough. The Unsane clip was just as gritty as their music. Oh, nasty sort of stuff. Alabama Thunderpussy one was kind of fun, actually. I mean, they're just like pure southern rock sludge, whatever the hell they are. It's just filmed out in front of an old house down south somewhere with some, shenanigans-y kind of footage. That one I kind of enjoyed. Uphill Battle one was just live. It was somewhat boring. Dillinger Escape Plans. I think it's another sort of live one. It's strangely shot, which kind of matches the manic music. Benumb stuff was just another live one. Brutal Truth one. It's live footage and a bit of life on the road, but yeah, not great. The Blood Duster one's another highlight on here for their Porn Store Stiffy. This was a great song in the first place. And I've seen the clip a million times. I must have had it on, well, I'll probably watch this. I'm pretty sure my old flatmate Andy owned this, which is why I thought I owned it as well, but then couldn't find it, so I figured it must have been his. So hence why I reordered it for really not much money. It's good. DVDs really don't cost much on Discogs. It's great. So, yeah, the Blood Duster one's hilarious. It's them just being idiots and taking the piss out of Fred Durst. And one of the highlights for me always is Matt Rizzo. They have, like, the drummer, they have, like, footage of his feet. And, one time he's wearing roller skates and then, like, big, like, Manowar Ugg boot sort of things. And stupid but hilarious. The Today's the Day one, that's very disturbing as expected. That's just, it's a pretty short song, I seem to recall. Deceased is just like pretty classic as what it should be. It's like B-grade horror movie out in the woods somewhere. So yeah, it fits pretty well. The Amorphous Black Winter Day one's probably the big budget one on here. It's hilarious. It's got like people in masks and all this sort of stuff, and then everything looks really good except for there's a few shots of the band in an alley somewhere that just looks shit house quality. I don't know what the hell they were doing. Then there's Neurosis Under the Surface, which is just some live footage with some, bodgy lightning and fire special effects put over it, but it's still pretty intense live footage. And then the last song is Dead World the Machine, which it's not quite what I was hoping it'd be a bit better. It was just like dodgy 3D graphics and lots of machine footage, unsurprisingly. So, yeah. Honestly, I'm glad I got it for the two Neurosis ones, the Alchemist and the Blood Duster ones, but the rest of it really not that flash. But it was like $10, so fine by me. Also from the same Discogs seller, and I just chucked this in because what the hell, it wasn't much. This is Anarchus split with Ruin. It came out on Fat Ass Records in, I think, like 2017 or something. So Anarchus is like Mexican crusty grind kind of band. Strangely, I don't own anything until now of this, even though I've got a lot of releases. They're a bit more metal than I expected, really. It was not too bad. Last song, I think, ends with this like Mexican traditional song for some weird reason, but oh well. But what I really bought it for was the Ruin stuff. So, the LA death metal legends of extreme putridity usually. Look at this friggin', it's not even a dodgy pack. It's like a bit of cardboard with a friggin' CD and a little knob glued to it. So yeah, the Ruin stuff starts with this like mellow intro, and I was like, what the hell? And then the filth commences. Let's just put it that way. Not quite as horrific sounding as some of their later stuff. The vocals are not quite as rancid as later on, but I mean, it's still bloody killer, don't get me wrong, but he's really killer now. Really nice, loud, rumbly sort of bass, reminds me of like real early Brujeria sort of stuff. So yeah, that was killer. There's a rumbly groove that's just massive. I can't remember what song it's on, but probably one of the first two. And then there's like the bend starts with like acoustic guitar. I'm like, what the hell? But yeah, don't worry, it heavies up quick smart. So yeah, it's got a killer chunky riff in it. So bloody killer stuff. As with most Ruin stuff, I still buy it because I'm becoming a bit of a collector scum with them. But I already had them on this, what is it, Plague Transmissions Volume 1. Actually, it has a cover I can show for once, unlike the other two. But so yeah, this is a compilation of all their stuff. So I already had those songs, I think. But anyway, nice to have this. Yeah. Anarchus, I don't think I'll be getting any more of them. But Ruin, yeah, they rule. All right, next up are a batch of stuff I got on a trip to Sydney. I went up a couple of weeks ago, I suppose, to see Massacre and Convulse and Carnal Viscera at the Bridge Hotel, I think, somewhere in Sydney, which was bloody killer. Massacre were great. Convulse were really great. Carnal Viscera were great for about the 20 seconds that I saw them. Too busy chatting with mates in the front room and thought, I better check them out a bit. Wandered in, and yeah, literally 20 seconds later, thank you, see you. I was like, oh well. Sorry, boys. So yeah, I stayed up. That was a Sunday night for some weird reason. I did stay up in Sydney for that, and then next day had the day off. So I thought, let's go to Newtown and do a bit of shopping. So I went there, wandered up to Papa Disco, which wasn't open on Monday, so that's a bugger. I went to some new store that I can't remember for the life of me what it's called. It's sort of near Nando's, I think. So Simon from Explosive Action had told me about it. So lingered around until they were open. Classic sort of stalker out the front style. I had a look through that. Some pretty cool metal stuff, and lots of other, it was mostly records. I think they had some tapes, and I don't know if they even had any CDs, but a lot of non-metal stuff, of course. Lots of Pink Floyd and lots of Japanese presses of things and so on. Fancier stuff than I was prepared to buy. There was one actually I was looking at in the fancy section that sounded kind of cool. It was like a couple of, long, hairy-looking dudes. They're obviously a proto-metal band from the early 70s. And I can't remember who they were, but there was like a nice write-up from like Ian Gillan or something or other on the back. It was sounding pretty cool, and then I turned it over and noticed the price was $500. It was like, don't think I want to take the risk on that one. It's a shame. And I can't remember I wish I could remember who it was so I could actually listen to them and see if it's any good. But so after that, I didn't bother going over to Egg Records, mainly I think because Simon had already done Simon from Explosive Action is the one who'd told me to go check out that new store. I think he'd recently done a shopping one where he, obviously probably pilfered all the good stuff from Egg Records, so I didn't bother going over there, but I did go down to Repressed Records, which is always a place to stop for sure. And yeah, this is partly why this is collection updates blown out a bit, because I get very easily suckered by cheap stuff in person, let's just put it that way. So I'd seen most of this stuff on their website. I mean, I go to their website regularly and buy stuff, but just seeing it in person is like, I'll grab that. Yeah, why not? Let's get that one as well. So yeah, did pretty well out of them, that's for sure. So first up was this White Horse EP, I suppose, called Caverns. So I assume this is how it came. It's like this plastic sleeve that's like sticky taped up, obviously hand cut, so I don't know if that's the official one, but considering this is all of like paper and or card, I suppose it is just paper and the CD. So anyway, this is, I'm not sure if it's their very first release, but it's an early one. This is like from 2005, so it's like 20 years old. So White Horse, if you don't know, are a very, very heavy, I don't know, doom sludge sort of band from Melbourne. Ridiculously heavy. This is their live track from a Japanese tour, I believe. This is very early lineup, so I think all the band members have left other than Pete, the singer, who's like the mainstay in the band. So this is one song, 27 minutes long, very slow, lots of screaming. So that's yeah, pretty standard for the course for Whitehorse, that's for sure. But freaking killer, like it's I'm not sure if he wasn't growling back then or he's changed his style, or maybe this was just you just wanted to scream the whole time. So no growls, but it's just super bleak, super oppressive, just soul-devouring sort of stuff. I love it. So these guys live, if you get the chance to see, always worth it. It's just it blows your head off every time. So, but despite being very slow and quite sort of monorific, you could say, does actually change quite a bit. You know, I mean, it's 27 minutes long, so they've got plenty of time to play with, and they do take their time, but it does actually change quite a bit. So I was happy to finally track this one down. I've got most Whitehorse stuff, according to Discogs. I think there's like a tape or two I'm missing, so... but yeah, I was happy to track this one down, because, yeah, friggin' killer band. Alright, another one that suckered me at Repressed was this. This is Abyic, with the TH, the automatic lisp of Beneath Ancient Portals. So this came out on Blood Harvest Records, which is partly why I got suckered in, plus it was only like $30, so I thought, yeah, what the hell. I actually got suckered by this. I usually hate these Obi strippy kind of things, but this one, I saw the words death, and then I saw the words doom on the back, and name-dropping stuff like Bolt Thrower, Asphyx Grave, and Pentacle, so I was like, yeah, why not? What the hell? So yeah, it's total blind buy. Hadn't heard them, but yeah, cool cover art. Blood Harvest always put out good stuff, so yeah. German Death Doom, can't go too wrong there. So, and I bet $100 Jurgen bloody knows these guys, probably went to school with them or something. So, yeah, and nasty cover art as well. So, I actually thought this was brand new, but it's their first album from 2018, and I'm fairly certain. I think the drummer is the only member left in this band, so I don't actually know what their newer stuff sounds like. Probably not too different, really, but they got a couple of albums after this. So yeah, it was Death Doom, but I think the first song's like an intro, but first proper song, Purulent Phantasm, was a bit more deathy than I was expecting. It's just fast, pretty heavy, not super blasty fast, but then after that, yeah, the doom kicks in. There's that sort of a bit of Bolt Thrower rumble to it, or maybe bands that are trying to sound like Bolt Thrower rumble to it. So quite enjoyed it, I must say. I think it's Beneath Ancient Portals, The Gate of Gunzir is tasty death doom lumbering along, just how I like it. So, and I think it's Thon, Thon. Track 6 has got like quite a kind of Celtic Frost sort of feel to it. So yeah, overall very happy with this one. It's just black vinyl, comes with an inner with band standing around looking tough as per usual. So Abyic. Yeah, I might try and track down the other two albums. I think I really quite enjoyed this. Alright, also from Repressed was Black Alef with their Upsides album, EP, whatever it is. So this is a Sydney and Melbourne kind of doomy post-rock, not quite sure what they are sort of thing. Basically consists of guitars, cello, and DAF drums, which are, I don't know, like big drums sort of thing, and setar lutes, not sitar, but setar lutes. So it has a quite different sort of sound. It's mostly instrumental. There are some sort of female kind of vocals on one or two tracks, I think. They have sort of big, heavy kind of songs where it's, you know, distorted-y kind of sounding guitar, and the cello is really used very well as far as a sort of heavy instrument at times. But they do have several nice sort of mellow songs as well. Procession, I think, is one of the heavier ones, and really great use of the cello. This is sort of almost as a bass kind of thing. This has got like Lochinal from Adrift for Days, and I think he also runs a label, Arta's Catharsis, which came out on. So it's very moody, a lot of different sort of styles to it. I probably need to give it a bit more of a thorough listen to, but yeah, really quite enjoyed it. I mean, I like sort of slightly different sounding stuff, like, well, Dead Can Dance is one of my favourite bands, so yeah, I'm happy with these guys. I saw them at Essence Festival last year. I don't know if they're playing the next Essence Festival. The flyer over there, I'll check in a bit. But yeah, they're bloody nice. Not too bad at all. And live, I seem to recall, is really quite interesting. So yeah, Black Alef. All right, also from Repressed. And on CD, I kind of would have preferred to get this on record because the cover art's so cool. This is Frit with Haunting Charnel Grounds. This is a New Zealand Black Death band. They're from Wellington, which is home of one of my favourite breweries, garage project. So good work. But yeah, this came out on Gutter Prince Cabal, and I was actually chatting the night before at the Massacre gig with Dave, one of the head honcho guy, and who was talking these guys up. So I'm glad I managed to find it the next day. So, because I'd not tracked this down. So comes in dodgy pack or digipack that I'm not a giant fan of, but seem to have a lot of things made of cardboard this time. But yeah, these guys friggin' pretty bloody intense stuff. It's kind of like Formula's Gateways sort of era Morbid Angel, kind of meets Immolation, but then with a bit of blackened sort of feel to it as well. Actually a bit like Mitochondrion, really. I really like the sort of chaotic but technical sound to it. As a bit of a contrast, but it works really well, and just some sort of wild triazic soft sort of solos on it as well. So yeah, it's pretty intense stuff. I mean, it's got an intro. The last song is so it only has 3 proper of their songs. The last song, Watain, is like a cover of the band Von, which I didn't realise at first. You can kind of tell in the vocal sort of delivery, because Watain have Von have a very distinct sort of style, very minimal. I think these guys have enhanced it quite a bit, because the original Von one is pretty simple, their sort of style. But yeah, this is overall just furious Black Death. I'm very keen for some more of these guys. I don't know if they play live. There's only like 2 members, so I don't know if they rope in some extra people to play live at all. It does have some session members, but don't know about live. So yeah, if they make their way over the ditch, I'd be well keen to see them. But yeah, Frit and friggin' heavy. Also from Repressed Records was this one, Tangent, with their self-titled EP that came out on Dying Victims Productions. So yeah, this is Ian from like Shackles and Convent Guild, plus I think it's Josh from Worm and maybe Demon's Gate, and also Fong from Outcast. So 3 dudes that have been around a while, just playing classic old heavy metal sort of style. This was pretty fun, actually. I think the first song, Spellbreakers, classic sort of opening faster kind of song, and probably the highlight for me, I'd say. Vocals on this, they're not amazing, but he has passion. I like that much. So the guitar work, though, is very tasty. It's only 4 songs, like 24 minutes long, so they're not short songs. They take their time, which is probably a good thing, actually, because there's nothing sort of rushed about it. Gives it some sort of decent dynamics. So yeah, really good sound by Jason from Goat Sound as well. So yeah, not really my thing, I've got to say, but yeah, it was only like $10 or something. So what the hell? Yeah, I'm happy I picked this one up. And as I was purchasing all that stuff from Repressed Records, I noticed sitting on their counter a brand new stack of this charmer. This is Body Melt with their self-titled EP that just came out. This just came out on Radical Blast, who I would have ordered it from them, but it was sitting there. I thought, what the hell? I don't think they'd even priced them yet. I just went, can I buy one of those? Thanks, lads. So yeah, this is Newcastle, Australia grind band. It's I'll steal Brad's hype line of Warsaw from Wish.com, which is not the most flattering, I've got to say, but it's not too far off. There's a bit of a Warsaw sort of feel to it, but anything that's slightly catchier than Warsaw's just all-out assault. Mostly sort of screamed vocals on this. Guitars have this really nice sort of snarl to them. Kind of reminds me of, classic From Enslavement to Obliteration sound. If anything, drums could be a bit louder on this. That's my only sort of complaint. It's not too much to see on the inside. And it's just black vinyl, so nothing exciting, but I do like that cover art, though. It's pretty cool. I don't think I've seen these guys live. The only other thing I've got of theirs is like one of those credit card weird split with Vault Deprogrammer. So yeah, this one you get a bit more music than on that credit card CD thing. You get 10 songs or 9 songs, sorry. Yeah, just intense, rabid, napalm sort of style grind. I love it. It's great stuff. All right, next up is one that I got from Sean from the, Metal Execution Australia Facebook group, who ordered a batch of these from the Haydn's Heart. This is Sadistic Execution with Demon with Wings. So this is a reissue of classic old 7 or single that, yeah, of course I bought when it came out. Classic Mod Invasion sticker on the back. There's no Mod Invasion on the back of this. So, yeah, this is a Sadex EP from, I think, 96. So just before they did Chaos, pretty much. So, and this is, he's even redone the cover art. I mean, it's the same design, but just a redone version by Rock, the vocalist and maniac. So, yeah. There's nothing different about this to the CD. I didn't really need this, but I was like, why not? Different cover art, that suckered me in. So you get 2 songs on this. You get Proxima Centauri and the song Demon with Wings. Demon with Wings was also re-recorded on Chaos, but I don't think Proxima Centauri was. So, yeah, this is Sadex, absolute craziness. I actually kind of like the rawer sound on this than the Chaos album. I don't know, for the last 3 albums they had such clicky drums that, I mean, you could hear the drums well, but it just kind of spoiled the atmosphere a bit for me. On this though, it's a bit rawer. It's just fast, crazy death metal, as they called it. So yeah, I think you do get some pictures on the inside. So lyrics, you actually get lyrics. Oh god. Oh, didn't actually read these. Good stuff. Rock's a special guy. So, yeah, as I said, didn't need it, but what the hell? How can I resist getting Sadex EP for, I don't know, it wasn't on that one, it was like $30 or something or other, so well worth it, I think. Yeah. So, yeah, Haydn's Heart just put this out this year. You can probably still get these from various different places, and highly recommended because it's Sadistic Execution. Everything they did was killer. So, and yeah, this year it's pretty bloody nice. I think it's just that intense, insane, crazy music. It's beautiful. All right, next up is one I've been pretty bloody keen for. I got this off the band through their Bandcamp. This is Jade with Mysteries of a Flowery Dream. This is their brand spanking album. This is a Spanish atmospheric death metal-y sort of band. So yeah, really brooding atmospheric death metal as well. They do it very well. So yeah, after a slow, moody kind of intro song, it kicks in and it's pretty furious. Pounding drums and just deep as hell growl vocals, plus these sort of cleaner, wailed kind of vocals. And I think, I'm not sure if I mentioned it in the previous one when I did their Pacification of Death album. I used to think there was like 2 vocalists, but it's just one guy who does them both, so he does a damn good job. So the wailed vocals on this, they're not quite as loud as on Pacification, so a bit more sort of ghostly sounding, which I think works really quite well. The leads in this are just mournful and somehow uplifting as well, which is kind of odd, but yeah, superb production on this, bloody killer. I think Jarvie Bastard did this again, and I looked him up on Metal Archives. Bloody hell, he does a lot of production work. It's a very long page of all his production stuff, so bloke, yeah, gets around. But yeah, on this, the drums really do drive the album sort of forward, just gives the guitar some space to weave some, really melancholic spells around the place. It's really well done. I really love the slide guitar on, Darkness in Movement, which is probably my favourite song on here. The slide guitar just reminds me of Alchemist for some reason. So, yeah, just as I said, it's probably my favourite. It just builds to this nice sort of powerful crescendo. It's bloody nice. Really amazing art from Adam Burke as well, who I think did the previous album and a heap of other killer stuff. But yeah, big spider. Even though I hate spiders, I like that one. So you get a inner sleeve with the band playing live and lyrics and so on. And plus they were nice enough to throw in a sticker of their previous EP and nice little note saying, "Thanks for your support, Jeff. May you enjoy the new album. Take care. Cheers." So thanks, lads. But yeah, I've listened to this a ton. I should say more because I have listened to this like 10 times probably since I got it. But yeah, it's highly, highly recommended. I really love this sort of style. It's, yeah, just brooding atmospheric death metal. That's the best way to put it. It's bloody killer. Oh yeah, I forgot to show the record of Jade because it's very spiffy. Looks really nice in person. I can't remember what specific name colour that is, but it's very spiffy. Alright, next up are a batch I got from Searchers in Melbourne. Excellent store. First up is Gossudar with their Eschatological Agony of the Universe EP. This came out on Rotted Life and Masako Anoho. So this came out last year, I'm pretty sure, but it only just finally got around to tracking it down. So yeah, this is tough as hell Russian death doom. I think I've shown their album, and I think they got a split with what was that band called? I don't know. But yeah, I'm quite a fan of these chaps. They're doing bloody good. This one's 2 songs. The first one is the title track. It's kind of faster than I remember them being in parts, but there's a chunky ending section of the track. It's tough as hell. Second song, though, outre-tombe, is like ambient keyboard track. I thought it was an intro. I'm sitting there going, oh, when's this going to kick in? And it didn't, which is not quite what I was expecting, I got to say. So, yeah. So, yeah, one side's good. The other side, it didn't really blow me away, I got to say. But, yeah, very keen for another album from these chaps because they go quite all right. While browsing the Searchers website to grab that Gossudar, I sort of having a look and I thought, I got sucked in by this cover art and thought, I'll give them a go. This is Larvae with the Arousal of the Crawling Creature EP. This is Italian death doom. So yeah, I listened to a bit of it and liked the sort of crazed vocals. Thought, let's pull the trigger. Let's give it a go. Look at that. Weapons. Love it. Pitchfork and pickaxe and shovel. Great work. So yeah, this is and yeah, that cover art completely sold me. This seems to be the band of Lucilla, who's the she does vocals, guitars and synths on it. She wrote all the music and the lyrics, so seems to be her band. Really crazed sort of vocals from her. That kind of reminds me of Killjoy a bit. Growls, but also these evil witchy sounding bits and plenty of other styles as well. It's pretty varied. I like it. Music's sort of death doom version of Impetigo, if that makes sense. Sounds kind of weird. It's got a nice sort of caveman swagger to it on some tracks. And strangely, when I was looking this up, the drummer is Thomas Korn, who's like in Lycathia Aflame, like old Czech tech death band. Who's a very good drummer, don't get me wrong. But yeah, he sounds a lot more primal on this. I think he was in Cult of Fire as well. So yeah, not sure how he's in this band, seeing they're Italian, but maybe he moved there. I guess nothing's that far away in Europe. So yeah, does a killer job. So in this you get another picture with pitchforks. I love it. I want more pitchfork metal and not the bloody magazine. And it's on black vinyl, which is, there it goes. But has this etched and apparently glow in the dark. Just their logo, I guess. I haven't actually tested it, that it glows in the dark, but yeah. So, yeah, as you can tell, if it's one side and etched, there's not a giant amount of music. It's only like 5 songs with an intro and 6 songs with an intro and outro. So 4 proper full-length tracks, but I have a feeling one of them's not super long anyway. But yeah, this is not quite what I expected. I like it. I like being a bit sort of surprised. So yeah, killer, strange death doom. Now the main reason I did an order from the Searchers was for this Morbific, Bloom of the Abnormal Flesh. This is Finnish, death doomy kind of band. This is their latest album, which just came out on Masako Anoho. So killer bloody stuff. You'd recognise these guys from my previous collection updates because I've got most of their other stuff, I think. So this is their 3rd album. They've only been going since 2020, so they're putting out the content. Good work. This one seems a bit more death doom to me. I finally worked out who they remind me of. They remind me of Innsmouth, old Sydney metal band that I did. I think they were in one of my underrated Aussie metal bands. Yeah. For some reason the riffing just reminds me of them somehow. So, yeah, it's a full-length album, killer stuff. What is it? Oh, yeah, Panspermic Blight has this killer bit where he just goes, guitar! I love it when I think Obituary used that. I think it's Obituary that have a guitar bit on Maybe Slowly We Rot. Always classic. Barney does some killer call-outs in Napalm as well, of course, but I like the back cover as well. Like an old gloomy next to the river or inlet or something or other. So, yeah, the groove on this is just killer, especially on Menagerie of Grotesque Trophies. Just great stuff. And I kind of like that this is nice, sludgy death metal, but you can kind of tell they've got a few more influences. There's a few bits that don't. They're not just, rip-offs of other bands. They're a bit of interesting original sort of stuff. Plus, the vocals are pretty gurgly and horrible, as you'd imagine. Plus, there's suitable amount of and various other sort of grunts that, love it. And the title track's just this pummeling main riff. It's friggin' killer. So, yeah, I still like these guys quite a lot. It's just boring black vinyl. You get some exciting lyrics and band standing around in a forest looking tough. With a river in the background at least. So, what have we got? We got a Necrology General Surgery shirt. I can't really work out the other ones. At any rate, I'm sure they're something cult and nasty because, these guys friggin' rule. All right, next is one I ordered from the record label themselves, Cruz del Sur. This is the Lord Weird Slough with their Traveller Supplement 1, the Ephemeral Glades. So, this is a San Francisco heavy metal sort of band. This is a slightly strange, sequel, but like an add-on to, my favourite album of theirs, Traveller, which is from 2003, I think. So, amazing freaking album. It's, heavy metal with a sci-fi role-playing game theme to it for some odd reason. So I love this album so much. I listened to this a million times. So, for some reason, 22 years later, they went, let's do an add-on to it. Don't know why. I'm not complaining, but don't get me wrong. I'm very happy with this. So, this is the modern lineup. So quite a different lineup. I think Mike Scarzi, maybe the bass player is also on both, I think, but the rest of them are new guys or newer guys. Somehow this manages to sound like it's from the mid-'80s with great production, really enthusiastic playing as well. This is 23 minutes. It's 6 songs, including Varga Reprise, which reprises the riff from the various songs on here that are, where is it? Varga Moon, that's it. And also Varga Theme / Confrontation. So it's good to hear that sort of riff come through again. I really like, I think it's Ice Shelf Stomp. It's like this groovy sort of rock feel to it. I mean, these guys are heavy metal, but they've got a lot of Thin Lizzy sort of feel to them and other, they're obviously knowledgeable about stuff other than heavy metal. So mostly, 70s rock and stuff like that. So they have great sort of style to them. Mike Scarzi's vocals, or Scalzi, I'm not quite sure how you pronounce his surname, sorry mate, but they sound really bloody good here, especially on, I think it's, Magnetic Fluctuations, I think. So it sounds pretty killer. Obviously this is slightly lacks the faster energy of Traveller, which just blew me away when I first borrowed it off my old flatmate Brad, without his permission, sorry mate. It kind of, it's 22 years later, what do you expect? The last couple of albums of Slough haven't quite blown me away as much as the earlier stuff, like this era plus Down Among the Dead Men and what else? Atavism and what's that cool cover one that I can't remember the name of. Anyway, there's a certain period around here, early 2000s, where they just could do no wrong, and this follows on pretty bloody nicely from it, I gotta say. What do you get? You get slightly odd artwork that I'm not quite sure what's going on. There's a full story to this as well that it does tell you up the top, and I'm not going to read it all, but it continues the story in the lyrics as well, and this is one of the few bands that I actually bother reading their lyrics because they're bloody killer. So, as I said, it's all role-playing game themed. Pretty sure it's just black vinyl, nothing exciting. I was going to whinge about the cover art as well, because it's not going back in. Compared to... Now it's on the floor. compared to Traveller, it's pretty plain, but then I looked it up, and sure enough, it is pretty much in keeping with the books. All the supplemental sort of expansion packs of the day are pretty much the same cover. I'll put a picture of them up. So actually, it almost suckers me into wanting to play. I mean, I haven't played role playing games since I was a young lad. Let's just put it that way. I used to briefly play the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one, which was great fun, and was it Heroes Unlimited? Also, of course, D&D, but never did play Traveller, so it's almost suckering me in, but yeah, I'll probably resist because I'm too lazy. So yeah, very, very happy that they're continuing this style. I mean, this is supplement 1. Maybe we'll get more, I don't know. Maybe we'll get a Traveller 2. It'll be fine by me. So yeah, killer bloody band. If you don't know the Lord Weird Slough, or just Slough, it gets shortened to, definitely check them out. Amazing bloody band. Alright, up next is one I got from Total War Records. This just came out on Tank Crimes. This is Impaled with Demo Medicali. So this is like demo tracks just before they did Mondo Medicali, their second album. And don't worry, YouTube, that's not a real picture. That's like the drummer, who I'm pretty sure still has 2 eyes and his tongue. I think it's a drummer. So yeah, this is demo stuff that, so I don't know why they put this out. I guess they maybe just found it and thought, that sounds pretty good, why not? I originally wasn't planning on buying this because the original one, Mondo Medicali, is just perfect death metal albums. My favourite of theirs by a mile. Friggin' killer. I prefer it over anything like Exhumed did or a batch of other bands, but yeah. So, but then I thought, why not? I do like demo versions, and sometimes they're a bit sort of different. What the hell? So yeah, just catchy bloody riffs, perfect sort of necroticism style solos. Obviously, this is a much rawer sort of sound. Doesn't have some of their silly little skits that they do, and it's a bit slower in parts, but no huge differences really. I think the final solo in We Belong Dead's a bit sort of different. One thing that this does have that the album doesn't have is gross anatomy and choice cuts. They were I don't know if it's the versions of this or I have a feeling it's not. I think it's fancier versions that they must have recorded at the same time. It was on that Medical Waste EP that came out, which is highly recommended as well. So this is really good for Impaled fans, but yeah, if you don't really know Impaled that well, get Mondo Medicali instead if you can. I don't know if it's still in print, but so yeah, in this you get lyrics and the band, some pictures of them and so on. I think this is the last thing that poor Andrew did before, I don't know if he died or he had like Lou Gehrig's, I think. And this comes on horrendous bloody coloured vinyl. Avert your eyes, people. I'm not sure what colour that is called on the hype sticker, but yeah. Anyway. So yeah, as I said, didn't really need it, but yeah, why not? What the hell? Alright, up next is one that only just came in towards the end of the month, so I've only listened to it a couple of times, but this is Remains with Grinding from the Grave. This came out on Disdain Records, which is where I got it from. So yeah, this is the second album from these Melbourne Maniacs. This is grind, or kind of death grindy almost. Stadium grinders, I think they call it sometimes. So yeah, this is various band members of King, Bloodduster, The Day Everything Became Nothing, Fuck 'Em Dead, The Kill, Captain Cleanoff. The list goes on. So yeah, killer bloody band, great lineup. There you go, band standing around looking tough, trying not to get run over by a tram, I'd say. So yeah, this is death grindy sort of stuff. You can always recognise Dave's sort of guitar style. There's plenty of melody in there amongst the brutality. Some of that sort of Gothenburg sort of sound comes through, especially on, I think it's Headbangers maybe. This is catchy as shit though, just especially on the sort of slow down chorus on Beheaded. Also, I think it's Drink the Blood's a ripper as well. I think my highlight song probably was Knife in the Skull. Oh, sorry, Knife in Your Skull, no less. I don't know, just catchy, short but powerful, but really good sound as well. Tonebone sounds great on vocals on this. I mean, he sounds like Tonebone. There's always going to be a slight Bloodduster sort of feel to it, but yeah, not overly. And Jay is such a fine drummer on this. Bloody hell, using his... I'm very used to his just non-stop blasting in the kill, but he's got a good bit of variety on here as well, including some double bass action. So yeah, this friggin' rules. This came on. Actually, no, that's right. It was moderately nice coloured vinyl, sort of see-through blood red, and you get exciting lyrics and band also looking moody and tough. So yeah, this bloody rules. I really quite enjoy this. I'm going to be listening to this plenty, I'd say. And I might as well plug there. I think there's a release party flyer that I'll bung up on the screen. I think they're playing on Melbourne Melbourne on Friday the 25th of July at the Burgee Band Room, wherever the hell that is. So yeah, I highly recommend checking these guys out live. They put on a show. I haven't seen them for a while actually. I'm looking forward to seeing them again. So yeah, this album bloody awesome. All right, one I had to get from their Bandcamp because the record label Wise Blood Records always sounds a ridiculous postage cost to Australia. So this is Mother of Graves with their In Somber Dreams EP. So this is their first EP from 2021. This is American death doom sort of stuff. Very Catatonia sort of style. And yeah, it's straight into the Catatonia melodies and that simple sort of drumming that they had in the early to mid period. Nice deep growled vocals and a bit of clean sort of goth style as well, which I don't think they continued on the two albums after this. This is a bit more dour than their first the newer album, I think. I don't know, that one's a bit catchier and this one's a bit more, well, somber. It's in the title. I really like the sort of spectral piano on Nameless Burial, and I think Deliverance is my sort of it's my more interesting one. It's just got this pure melancholy, a driving beat. Well, it's got this cool, chunky sort of build up, and then just kind of dissipates into mellowness. It's kind of weird. It was like, what the hell? I remember thinking it when I first listened to it. Where did that song go? What's going on? I don't like the faster pace on the urn. Just this weird transition that really doesn't work very well. So it's a very good start. Nowhere near as good as their latest album, the Paraft of Apps, whatever the hell it's called. Like not yet more bands standing around in the forest looking tough, and old mate wearing his somewhat obvious influences on his chest, on his sleeve. So, and yeah, some lyrics and the like. And this is another one of those etched, fancy one-sided 12 inches, which I know my mate Christoph hates when they do that. But so yeah, the logo etched on the other side. I think his reasoning is, why isn't it a 7-inch or something? Well, why bother with a full 12-inch when you're only using one side? Which is a fair question, I think. So, yeah, as I said, a very good start. It's not mandatory. The latest two albums after this are quite a bit better, but yeah, it's a good start. All right, this next one, I got to admit, it was a bored purchase. I hadn't found out. I got this from Landspeed Records, a record store in Canberra that I frequent pretty much every week when I'm in the office. And I, looked through all their records, nothing grabbed me. And then I thought, I'll have a look in their the second-hand CD rack. What the hell? I asked the guy, one of the owners, you got any metal in there? He's like, nah, not really. But then, sure enough, he did. He certainly did. So this is a board purchase for $10 because I couldn't find anything else and thought, what the hell? This is Manowar with The Triumph of Steel from 1992. What did this come out on? Atlantic. So, yeah, this took a while to work out which version this was on Discogs. They've got a few pressings of these sort of things, bloody Manowar. So, honestly, I'm not a giant fan of Manowar. I've got like one other CD, I think. They're one of those bands that I should have had when I was younger and would have loved them in the 80s sort of thing, but didn't hear them until way later for some reason. Then it was just like, it's all right. I mean, if anything, the image of these guys is more enjoyable than the music for me. So yeah, usually when I buy anything for these collection updates, I listen to them at least 3 times. This one, it got one full listen in the car. That was probably enough. I think it's mainly because of the first song. The first song, which is Achilles' Agony and Ecstasy in 8 parts, is, what is it, like 25 friggin' minutes long or something ridiculous like that. So, and it includes like a 4-minute really bad drum solo, guitar solo, which was pretty good, and then like I was sitting there thinking, surely there's got to be a bass solo in here as well. And yeah, right towards the end, there's, I don't know, it was like 4 or 5 minutes probably. It was ridiculous bass solo. I was kind of thinking, oh, is this going to be like, what is it, Jazz Odyssey from Spinal Tap? But no, it was super fast and kind of shit. So, yeah, the opening 25-minute track or whatever did not sell me whatsoever. The vocalist is pretty good. I mean, as I said, the guitarist who only seems to be the only thing that he's on, David Schenkel or something, so at least I didn't get the one with the sketchy other guitarist that they had. Yeah, he does a fine job on here. I mean, the rest of the songs aren't too bad. Metal Warriors is hilarious. Just got all the lyrics about wimps and posers leaving the hall. I can't remember. Because I don't have all their other ones, I'm not sure if they were always rambling on about wimps and posers leaving the hall or if this is where all that stuff's from. But it's Metal Warriors, Brothers of Metal, Part 1. It's hilarious. So one of the things I really do like about this is the cover art, which is probably all shinies there. So very stylish. That's probably the highlight for me, I'd say. As I said, I've only listened to it in its entirety once. You know, it's like 1992 Manowar, so it's hardly peak era at any rate. So maybe I should track down like Battle Hymns or whatever the earlier ones are. I mean, I've got them on my computer. I have heard them. They've never done a giant amount for me. What's the other one that I actually own? Fighting the World or something. I don't know. I think it's got the Flight of the Bumblebee bass solo bit on it, which is just hilarious. So I do seem to recall there was a few alright sort of songs on here. Maybe Demon's Whip was alright. Power of Thy Sword, maybe. I don't know. It wasn't terrible, really, but yeah. Maybe I'll listen to from track 2 onwards, because I'm not listening to that first song again. And I mean, I think it was the first song, just had bits where it's just like the same like chord over and over for like, minutes on end. It's like, what are you guys doing? That's, lacking. So, was it worth $10? Probably not, but what the hell? It's Manowar. All right, up next is a split 7-inch that I got from Christoph, the legend himself. This is a Headless Death split with Shrivel Up. This just came out on is this Suburban Slaughterhouse or something or other like that. Yeah, that is it. Suburban Slaughterhouse, number 6. Oh, and also Psycho Control Records or something or other. So yeah, first up is Headless Death. This is tracks from 2022 for them, I think. So they're kind of grindy, deathy sort of stuff. It's like him and Zev and a couple of other folks. Zev also from like Contaminated and ESP Mayhem and a batch of other bands. So yeah, Zev does guitar and vocals on this, and yeah, his throaty vocals on this sound freaking killer. Just tough as hell. It's one of the highlights for me. Some weird guitar effects that he uses at times that makes it really kind of disconcerting and odd sounding. Christoph's blast just on point as always. Plus some really good drumming. So yeah, you get 5 pretty short songs of them, I seem to recall. Killer stuff. The other side is Shrivel Up, who I knew absolutely nothing about. They're from Illinois somewhere or other. It's just harsh, noisy sort of grind. Dual vocals on it work really well, actually. One's deep and the other's is sort of very crazed, screamy sort of sounding. I'm pretty sure these do sound like they're from different recording sessions, as the quality, the production varies quite a bit. I like the looseness and just the overall insanity of them. So I was always going to buy this for the Headless Death side of things, but it was a nice surprise of Shrivel Up. I do love the cover art as well. The mushroom themes of Headless Death as always, and I don't know what's going on the Shrivel Up side. This guy's got like a meat grinder in his groin. Okay, fair enough. This one is nice purple, I believe, and get like in a sleevey kind of bit. The band, so yeah, pretty damn tasty. So yeah, I should listen to Headless Death more actually. It's one of the Melbourne bands I don't listen to as much as I should, even though I've got most of their stuff, but yeah, great stuff. Oh yeah, I also forgot to show the inside picture because, yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but very stylish, very colourful. All right, next up is a batch of stuff I got from Lycanthropic Chance from, I think they're Germany maybe. At any rate, I had to order this one. This one actually came out on Hello from the Gutter, which is a Japanese label. Coffins with Coffins with December 2024 it seems to be called, but it's actually the song Under the Stench recorded live at a gig from 2024, which, honestly, I forgot to listen to this. Sorry. This is a bloody flexi disc, which I'm almost slightly worried to listen to because they're, it's plasticky stuff. It did say, when I was trying to find some notes on this, I can't find the MP3 of this, so apologies. You can't listen to it either. So I know what the song sounds like. I'm sure it's just a live version of that song, but lovely cover art. And I am a bit of a Coffins completist, so I couldn't resist. But yeah, when I was researching it did say something about a QR code, so you can listen to it, on your phone or something or other. But I can't find it anywhere. So tough luck. So I promise I will listen to this. I'm sure it sounds like Coffins live, heavy Japanese death doom. So, and it is Under the Stench, which is a ripper bloody song. So yeah, whoops. All right, one thing from Lycanthropic Chance that I did actually listen to was this. This is Seep. They're split with Stench Collector. How could I resist a band called Stench Collector? So the first side is Seep. It's a one-man death metal band from Maine in the US. This one's actually got David from Undergang on guest vocals. So yeah, some lovely putrid gurgles and other unpleasant sounds on it. So yeah, they're pretty much just chunky death metal, some sort of breakdown bits and lots of sort of those guitar squealy sort of bits. There's a kind of a bigger, I do have their album, which I can't remember the name of. This has got a bigger emphasis on sort of slow and heavy sections, which work really bloody well on this. I might have to visit that album. What is it? Hymns to the Gore. The other side is they've got the same cover as Stench Collector. This is they were a death metal band from Rhode Island in the US. Fortunately, their guitarist and vocalist Mark died in 2022, so this is a posthumous release and obviously dedicated to him. Rest in peace, mate. So they've got, I think there's just one song for these guys as well. It's got a guest guitar solo from Luke from Laceration, which is pretty bloody nice. Unsurprisingly, they're also chunky death metal with breakdowns and lots of squeals. So yeah, this was just one that, I like Seep, and I got suckered by the name Stench Collector. So yeah, happy to grab this one. And another one that I just chucked in from Lycanthropic Chance, just for the hell of it, because I needed that Coffins one, was this. This is Skeletal split with outre-tombe, or whatever they're called. So this is two death metal bands. Skeletals are like a French death metal band. I don't own anything of theirs for some weird reason. Well, I do now, but I'm going to track some of their stuff down. This is nice. This has a nice punky hardcore sort of feel to it. I mean, it's still death metal as hell, but it's not what I expected, I got to say. Just furious as hell when it's fast as well. And the other side is, I'll just show you the bands looking pretty cool. The other side is outre-tombe. They're from Quebec I think they're from Quebec, somewhere in Canada. This sounds bloody raw. I do have their other 2 or 3 albums, and this is pretty freaking raw sounding. Kind of sounds like Desultory or maybe some other Swedish death metal band. Really nice throaty roar on the vocals. Bloody killer. This is also a bit punky in the riffing as well. I'm kind of surprised. But I was expecting just pure death metal, and both are, they're not like Abscess level of punky, but it is that sort of early Swede death when they've, obviously got quite that punk and hardcore influence on them. But yeah, their song has got a classic sort of slower ending with a nice solo. So yeah, I was very impressed with this. Comes on somewhat subtle vinyl. Just get boring lyrics, nothing exciting. So yeah, I did see this for sale. I think Black Sound Records has got it if you need it in Australia at all. But yeah, it was a nice one to add on. Excellent stuff. And the good folks at Lycanthropic Chance threw in usual good amount of stickers and flyers and stuff. Repulsive Feast. And yeah, I think I think the label guy is in Cryptic Brood. Maybe I have many of these stickers, that's for sure. And Cryptic Brood flyers and some other band whose name I can't read. And some quite fitting Obscene Extreme flyers, which goes quite well with the freebie that he chucked in, which was Obscene Extreme 2024 compilation CD, which, yeah, I haven't actually listened to yet. I'm a bit slack on that one as well. But I'll give you a squiz at least. Oh, shit. Stuff going everywhere. So, yeah, these are always bloody killer because it's just the bands that they can con into being on the thing. So it's got, Napalm Death, Immolation, Melt Banana, Hemorrhage, Birdflesh. The list goes on and on. So, yeah. I really do need to get to an Obscene Extreme before I'm even more crusty than I already am. So one day maybe I'll get there. But yeah, thanks to Lycanthropic Chance for the freebie. Good work. All right, next up are a couple I got from various people on Facebook. First up is Mortuary Ghoul with their Corpse Exhumation. Got this from Justin, I believe, on Facebook. So this is American, what are they? Ohio one-man death metal band. Some very nice Texas Chainsaw Massacre sample usage in this. So this is their first EP, I think. So this is number 83 of 300, apparently. Came out on Unpure Records. So, yeah, I just saw this for sale for shit. Cover's coming apart. It's all going to shit. I saw this for $10 and thought, yeah, what the hell. So I'm quite enamored by their later albums. What is that, Norman and Friends with the Dead or whatever it was. But yeah, this is pretty bloody good as well. This is just pure Mortician worship. Fine by me. I'm not complaining at all. Deep sort of sound. I put this on after, I don't know, something black metal and tinny sounding, and this was just like rumbly speakers. And I really love it when they slow down on, Brain Stew or something or other. Yeah, the second song. And plus, this ends with a cover of Chainsaw Dismemberment by Mortician, so yeah, you can't go too wrong there. So yeah, not quite as good as the newer albums, but still friggin' killer, just horrible death grind or whatever you want to call it. All right, and last but definitely not least is Pissgrave with their Suicide Euphoria album. I think this is their first album. Finally tracked this down. I've been after this on record for bloody ages. For some reason I missed this when it first came out. I heard it, but didn't quite click. Maybe I didn't give it a close enough listen, so I didn't buy it, and now I regret it because I got all the other ones on record. That said, I'm pretty sure it's just about to come back, be reissued by, I assume, Profound Lore again on record, so just in time for me to get the CD, I'll probably be buying it on record as well. So yeah, this may well be up for grabs at some stage. So yeah, this is, where are these guys from? America somewhere or other. I can't recall exactly. Some quality milk crate action there, looking grim. Yeah, I find it odd, this band. So they play death metal, but super noisy death metal. It's very kind of Morbid Angel meets Portal kind of style, but really noisy and messy sounding. I still find it odd that these guys are popular because it is so messy and horrible sounding. I mean, it's fine by me, but and once your ears get used to it, you can actually, it is a bit more decipherable, but I'd much prefer the occasional times where they have slightly chunkier riffing. I think it's Impaled Vibration, the second song. Plus it's got I think it also has a winding Portal Weirdo sort of bit as well. So I prefer the songs where there's some speed changes, because a lot of them are just fast the whole way through, which is, especially when it's that messy, it's not a giant amount of point. I think it's the second Sorrowful Mystery. It has some riffing, kind of reminds me of Incubus, like one of the Incubus is the one from Louisiana or something, the Brazilian one. Just, I don't know, chunky riffing reminds me of Beyond the Unknown. So, yeah, it's friggin' nice, I gotta say. So, maybe I won't show that picture. Oh, no, there is no inner bit. There's not much detail in here. Recorded by Arthur Risk, mastered by Alex Nagel. That's it. That's all you get. Doesn't say where it was recorded, nothing, no dates. But oh well. So yeah, good old Pissgrave. Lovely stuff. So yeah, keep an eye out. I'll probably have the record of this in a month or two as well. So All right, so that's your bloomin' lot, kiddies. I hate to think how bloody long this has been, but oh well. Thanks if you stuck around. Links to everything, well, except that Coffin's track below, and also the shops where I got them from. So yeah, highly recommend. Well, most of that stuff except Manowar. Bugger that. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Cheers.